Welcome back, Canal Street Dreams. We got our homie Roman from Regina's and MXDIN and several other businesses on the show today. This is the mayor of Orchard Street. All right, I'm saying it because when I go to Orchard Street, I post up outside his spot on the crate at MXDIN, and also, which is a prerequisite to being on the show, former DJ. Yeah. You can't be on the show if you wasn't a DJ at some point in your life.
Yes, this is very, very, very true.
Thank you for coming on the show, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the honesty. That's the biggest thing.
No, before the pod, every week, we go get this now. We used to go to a bunch of different places, and now I'm very loyal to this orange juice espresso.
Okay.
This shit bangs.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Like at home, I drink the regular La Marzocco. I'll pull the espresso, just drink straight espresso. But it's fun to go to a shop and like get the mixed in drink.
Yeah. Also, your barista is so knowledgeable. He just understands coffee in a way like I learn from him. Like you guys will be talking because he's such an espresso guy and you're just like in the coffee world. When you guys are talking, I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, when he was talking about the Japanese Slayer coffee machine, I was like, what?
I was like, wait, there's shit that I don't even know exists. And I just feel like when your barista like has that level of knowledge and I'm just like, yeah, I'm getting a good coffee today.
Yeah, Pinto's boss man, what's the tall guy's name? Peachy, yeah.
The team, I'm very thankful for them. They're amazing. And then, their like expertise goes down tremendous rabbit hole. And the reason why I think I love the both of them is it was the way we were when it came down to like understanding the nuances in a polo t-shirt and a Jordan sneaker. It's like very reminiscent of that time to me. So when they have this like insane knowledge of how things work in this world, I am super, super respectful of it in any of the crafts, which I'm sure we'll get to.
You know, you can see it when somebody loves what they're doing and they're just genuinely curious. They start spouting out facts. You're like, I didn't even know that was important to this. But like, tell me more because I'm feeding off your energy now.
Absolutely.
And those two guys at the shop are definitely like that.
Yeah, they're home runs. Pinto is an owner. Pinto's worked for me since Regina's, and our history is through Jason, actually. He was in Miami with Jason. Pinto wanted to move to New York, and he was like, yo, I have a gem. He's moving to New York, and I think he should stay within the family. And I was like, absolutely.
Jason Odio from
Jason
Miami.
Odio.
Yeah.
So it was a tremendous gift that kept on giving. Jason is the man and has supported everything I've done. And he passed, Pinto was there. He came to Regina's and we had this plan and here we are.
Yeah, little do people know, Jason Odio is like the godfather of the current matcha movement that everybody is enjoying.
Very true.
He has been pulling the strings behind the show of the matcha movement. But
Very
like
true.
real ones know.
Yeah,
he's
amazing.
Yeah, if you
Sure.
Yeah, and then that whole Miami crew is ill though. Odio, Raul, Dizza hasn't been shout out for like 5 episodes.
Shout out
I'm glad
Dizza.
we got another Dizza shout out today.
Shout out Dizza. Very special.
That's fire.
All of it.
Very special.
Yeah, very special homies. But what's it called? Yo, how did you get started? Like, so were you a DJ first? Is that how you met all the homies and stuff?
DJ first, and I came into the world through another world. My like big brother, Sal Morali, was big in fashion, but was from Bensonhurst. And he like opened this door to the Bensonhurst world. He was in fashion. I wasn't in fashion, but I was always attracted to fashion. And I loved music. I worked at SRC Rec. I worked for Steve Rifkin. That was my door into music. So I was always big into music. And then about 17, 18 years old, Sal was this kid from the neighborhood, and there was always this like story around him that he was doing things in the city. It was 100 miles away. And,
Like some Bronx Tale shit.
Yeah, exactly. It was
That's
like
really dope.
going to the city was like crazy. And then of course they had this party on Mondays. And my friends were like, wait a second, you're going to a party on a Monday in the city. It was like groundbreaking. Long story short, he adopted me, and in his crew, he had a crew that was at the time was called 718, and it was Anthony Vitale, who is still one of the most amazing DJs I think to ever touch records. And the crew like adopted me, and I was the young one. I was super young, and they brought me into this world, and I became a DJ. But it was my mother and father were big into like Nightlife, Studio 54, all that world. I worked for someone that worked for Peter Gatien,
Oh shit.
So I learned my like proper education.
Yeah.
And then I got into the downtown like butter scene, and I was 18 years old, and Sherry adopted me as well. So I was like this bridge and tunnel kid meets like Monday night still going out kid.
That's crazy how if you're from a generation together, you and I, a similar generation, everyone passes through the same shit. Like I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I was looking at New York through like the Source magazine, right? But I came up here, and within like 2 years of being in New York, I started to do things for Mike Caruso, Lord Caruso,
Okay.
and Ghostface and them, and like doing shirts and things like that, and then partying, and like that was Peter Gation's partner, you know?
Yeah.
And he managed Capadonna, he managed Ghost, but like it's crazy how big that family tree is.
Well, New York's family tree is interesting. It's like all the little like segmented little branches and how they touch or like overlap is crazy. Or like what falls off the tree then becomes like a baby is insane.
Yeah, and her mom's like 15, 16 years older than we are, and her mom was at those same clubs.
Yeah. It's very funny like hearing them talk because it's this like 15, 16 year gap. And then I'm 12 years. You're like right in the middle. So like you're like you speak both languages.
Yeah.
You can talk to me and my mom, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
because we were the youngest in the crew. Like me and Roman, our age, we'd be the youngest in the crew, and your mom would be on like the more senior side of the crew. And like, we would all know each other. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
It's what shaped, I mean, I always went down that road. It was like what shaped me and us, you know, like I always wanted more. And if you were a little older, you just hopefully inherently had more. So it was always like how I ran. And then, I got adopted multiple times.
What were the clubs that you liked when you were coming up at that age?
I think a club that changed my perception to the world was Stereo. It was the first like duo where it was like, I don't want to say like kids from the neighborhood, but kids from the neighborhood that knew and had style were then in a room with kids from New York City with like supermodels. That's the club that stood out the most to me at the time because I was allowed into Butter. But Butter was the best club in New York. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. Like I knew I was only there for very specific reasons. And again, Sherry adopted me, and to this day, I love her for so many reasons. She taught me 150 lessons. She was like the Sonny in the Bronx Tale to me because she gave a shit. She was like, you're young, you have a good heart, and you're like kind of cute. So I'm going to take you under my wing and show you what the fuck is real. But Stereo was definitely one of those places where things came together for me in like a big light. But Gold Bar and John Lennon was another one who knew how to like create his own world and environment. And I was a part of that Sunday party, and I was a kid.
Bro, that Sunday party was the best.
All reflective.
Yeah, and like James Cruikshanks over there,
course.
and PJ and Sean. Like that Sunday night party was one of the best parties in here. You even hit that Sunday night party.
Yeah. Tail end probably, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I remember when it started. It was insane. And then I remember what the drop-in was. And then also it's like, it was at a time where DJing was crazy. DJ AM was putting DJing on to be like a superpower. It wasn't, you weren't a DJ anymore. Like obviously Stretch Armstrong, Riz, there's tons and tons of them that, you know, you grow up just idolizing. But AM made you like a DJ was like, you were a superstar.
Yeah, I remember seeing him at Santos Party House for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, this is some different shit."
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing like Stretch and Chairman Mao at APT. I have to say that was like the big eye-opening night as a kid from Orlando coming to New York. I caught Stretch and Chairman Mao at APT, and I was like, "This might be the greatest party I've ever been to."
That was the best party in New York because it was where DJs were able to become DJs, and you went for music, and you were like, you had like your Nextel, and you're over here like writing down like lyrics of the song because there was no like Shazam or whatever. And you're like, what the fuck was that record? And you're like in your like Nextel, like writing everything down. But that was the party for music heads.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially rap heads, like Rich Medina will pop on. I was just like, those dudes' knowledge is deeper than anyone's knowledge ever will be in hip hop. Like I don't think anyone will surpass them. Like A-Track is probably there with them, but like those are his uncles, you know? And like that APT party was eye-opening too, because it was like, I hated clubs because I got big ass, flat, wide feet. And so the hard bottom shoe thing fucked me up.
Okay.
And so when APT, you could go in sneakers, I was like, oh, now I could party.
Yeah.
Because I literally couldn't move in like Kenneth Coles or Allen Edmonds. I was like, bro, what am I doing in these shits?
See, like, the crew that I was adopted by broke the rules. And they broke the rules so far that they got into fashion in such a way that at a pinnacle time, Sal wore Jordan 5s to the Met Gala. And he was brought by, like, I believe Dolce & Gabbana at the time. And his whole thing was like, we all had rosary beads on. We were like, I hate the word, but it was okay because you could picture it. We were like Guidos.
Yeah.
We were Italian like little mob, and we broke all the, like, we were wearing shorts to 10 June. You had to wear shoes and dress pants. We were walking in with shorts.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I'm in a different world. I don't know what world I'm in, but I'm happy to be in it. And we were the kind of the kids that like broke the rules.
Yeah, 10 June was a bitch to get into. Like, I only went if someone was gonna like hold us down and walk us in. Because I was like, yo, I'm not getting curved outside again. I was always getting curved at 10 June because I'm like 5'7", and I would just pull up with a t-shirt and sneakers and like, yo, you ain't got no shorties and you got hard bottom shoes on. And so I would only go with these certain dudes who like knew investors in there and shit like that. But like 10 June was a tough door back then.
Yeah, it was, that neighborhood was insane. If you think about like the ripple effect from that time, that was New York nightlife. It was, Stereo, Kane, Home, Guest House, Bed, Spirit. You had Ruby Falls. You had every music.
Bed was hysterical too.
It was nuts. It was a joke.
Yeah, we did some good parties at Bed, so then they paid us to go throw parties at Bed Miami. And I was like, this is insane. Bed Miami was even bigger.
Yeah.
It was like just being at a mattress warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. It was
This is
nuts.
a mattress firm.
Yeah, it was like a Jennifer convertibles.
Yeah. It's a different world, but that's very true. It's almost like a joke, but it was a different world.
I miss it. I miss nightlife. Do you think that I'm just so not outside, so I don't know. Like when we moved back to New York, I'm like in the house. I don't go out ever. So I'm like, is there still like, what's up with like, is there clubs? Like, I just don't feel like there's clubs anymore. I don't feel like people go out in the same way that like what you're explaining. And then like when I was partying, it was like 2011 to like maybe 2016 was like when I was outside. And it just, even the tail end of that wasn't the same with like clubs. Like getting into like a 10 June. Like I just don't think it's like Paul's Baby Grand.
Yeah, Paul's Baby Grand, but I feel like no.
Little Sister?
I don't know anyone going to clubs right now. It's like bars or Bushwick parties, like loft parties, house parties. Yeah, the club thing is like kind of cooked.
Like I definitely feel like people are still going out for DJs. Like that still exists, but it's just not like they're not at clubs anymore.
Yeah, I think the way of entry is no longer accepted. I think it's a little hard. I think what we went through, like what you said, it's like what we went through to potentially get into a nightclub is tough. I don't think, those practices could be practiced today, sadly. But there was nothing wrong with it when you looked at it. They wanted the best room in the world. They wanted the best dressers. And it never mattered about money. It wasn't like, oh, this kid has a ton of money, he's getting in. That was his way of getting in. If you just put, a $12 t-shirt on and a $14 pair of pants and you looked amazing, they were letting you in.
Yeah,
if you fit the code, they let you in. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, I think a lot of people look at it sometimes as it's like such a harsh thing, but there was reasons for all of it. And to your question, I think things are cyclical. And to go back to like Peter Gation, a friend of mine owns, I think, the biggest party in the world right now and started from that world. Is called Tech Support. And when there's clubs that can't do 120 people, we went out last week to go, and I haven't seen him in a long time. And he's literally my friend since I'm 11 years old. I went to go and see him for the first time in like 2-3 years. He did 7,500 people and he does it 3 times a week. So people are going out. They're going out for the DJ.
Yeah.
I think we went out for the crowd and like the hype.
Like,
I was DJing. I knew 14 people downtown. Who cares that I was at Gold Bar, and Gold Bar had us, and I just happened to be the DJ at the time, and that's what made the room. Now it's like back in the day where the DJ makes the room and people are going, and then I think it'll stem off again and someone will come out.
Clubs for me was just like, I'm gonna go see my friends.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I would get into pretty much everywhere I wanted to go, except I would say 10 June, because it was like the advent of streetwear. I didn't want to like change my style, and I didn't want to put on like slacks or a belt or anything. And they were kind of like hanging on to that, you know, at that moment. But like, no, I see people like Jubilee was DJing up in Cat's Deli, right? I think people are throwing parties outside of the club, which is cool. And then like, you know, Lucien is always popping.
Sure.
Like, I wouldn't call it a club, but I feel like Lucien serves the purpose that a club used to for homies like us. You know, like you go to Lucien, you're going to see like 17 people, you know?
Yeah. I think our club table now has steak frites and, you know, other things on it. I don't think it's just Patron like espresso and whatever.
It's like go to Bellatos. You know, you
like
go to Bellatos,
that's
you're
our
see
table
people.
now.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's a little. I think our table setting is just different. It's, you know, I think that's what we are going for. But I think I think the things are cyclical, and someone will come back and be like, yo, you know, this massive club and everyone's allowed in, and this, that, and the third is done. I think that like people are doing it. They're just doing it in different ways. Like the Nines is a great venue. Right. You got to have a reservation. It's different. It's just a different way of operating. I think everything that he's doing is like right on the money for like what it is. They're great alcohol venues with a great pairing of food. And he's bringing that small environment back. And then there's the mega club.
Yeah, and he's still got Acme too.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
he's
it's
still
great.
got Acme down there.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
great.
like more of a traditional like club bar downstairs. And then he got Bar Bianchi, where it's like you sit outside with your Aperol spritz. Yeah. That's a way to socialize. But then it's funny, I would say organically mixed in is the club, like during the day. Because
trying to get there.
I mean, bro, that's the place I know. I could walk over and like say I'm going to get a coffee, but I just had a coffee. I'm really just going to sit and talk to some friends. You know, I'm going to Mixed In to post up. And like you've created that without being like, okay, so this is like the coffee rave. You know how people are doing those sober raves? And I'm like, it's too intentional. It's too intentional. It's like running the marathon. Like if I want to run the marathon, I run the marathon. If I want to hang out with people, it needs to feel like I wasn't trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to get
I'd
dressed
rather
up.
go sit at Mixed In.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right, babe?
I absolutely know
I mean,
what
y'all
you're talking
turning
about.
the coffee shop into a fucking Burning Man.
Or it's turning the coffee shop into like a running. It's a running club.
Yeah.
It's also these
The
things
run
that
club.
you have to like get dressed up to almost like appear to. And I do feel like the venues that we went to and that we're talking about, like you were able to hold on to your style, and that's what made that venue really interesting, right? Like to me, it was maybe the Rosary Beat. That was like my thing. I wanted to say that I was a Guido. I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm here. And I think that was fun.
It's Jay Buddha for me. Same shit, you know?
Yeah, like so I think that's interesting, and that's kind of the vision of what I want to say Mixed Ingredients is. I really just want to create something that's New York, and I think I'm just a product of my environment, and I think those were my environments. That's where I met people. I met tons of people in nightclubs. Sure, great. Everyone doing the right thing? No, but I still have relationships to this day that I'm super trusting and believing in.
Yeah, the club was my favorite place to meet people.
Yeah.
It just felt natural to me. I'm like,
same.
This is the way I like want to meet somebody, like the homie, whatever. All my business sprang out of partying. People in Hollywood always be like, oh, how do you know this person? Oh, partying. They're like, wait, you met everybody? I'm like, yeah, I did. Yeah. That was my fucking office.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was different intention and different opportunity. I think you walk in a room at any given night, and you went in there with that intention. You didn't know who you were gonna like bump into. You didn't know who you were gonna like see. And it was a time where like, I hate to be corny about it, but press was big. Page 6, Star Magazine, People Magazine. These things were huge. Kids from 18th Avenue, Queens, all of a sudden in a publication with X, Y, and Z celebrity, and that put you next to them. You had this thing, you had power, and that's what like created New York. So I think it wasn't just about going to a club and getting drunk. I stopped drinking when I was DJing because I was like, oh, I'm DJing 5 nights a week. I can't drink 5 nights a week. I'm done. Yeah. And I wanted to be a good DJ. So I stopped. But I would always know that I would always leave the club with a business card or an opportunity or like a shaking of a hand. I passed
great fucking time. Just
exactly. It's just
friend.
Like, it wasn't always for business, but it was always that. And that I always enjoyed. I always enjoyed being amongst my friends, and that's where they were.
I will say too, it's a lifestyle thing. We talk about in relationships, like we were former nightlife people. You know, like undeniably worked in nightlife. And like I need that. Like I need that energy now as an adult parent daytime. Like we've now transferred it to like gazebo. You know,
Sure.
like the pop-ups feel like a nightlife function, but it starts at 7:00 and there's different things on the table.
Sure. Yeah. It's perfect, I think.
Yeah, you know, it's perfect. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's a really nice transition. You're like, I don't have to like feel like shit tomorrow, but I had a good time. I love that.
and still see everybody. Like it's just
Yeah.
about seeing
And
everybody.
have that connection, and it doesn't feel so intentional. You
Yeah.
don't feel like you were like, oh, we went out and we like did this thing. Just like organic, nice time.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we skipped over one too, bro. Regina's is like an iconic downtown New York restaurant. Like,
Thank you.
You know, you win a lot of sandwich awards. Like, how did it go from the DJ thing to Regina's?
I always wanted to do food. Sadly, didn't have the money to go to culinary school and understand what that hurdle would be. Or I made this like big excuse that I couldn't do it. I'm sure there's people with no money that go to amazing schools. It was always something that I wanted to do. I grew up a huge fan, and I respect craft. Any craft I'm really big on. From like the Bob Vilas of the world to anything like Martha Stewart. I was infatuated with that. That's what I grew up watching. And it holds like a big place in my heart. I always wanted to do food again, and I felt like I had the agency. The agency was doing great and is still around, and we still play the back card with tons of people. But I said, I've always had this idea. Friends of mine were in London, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it for myself. One day I was like, you know what? I'm going to, instead of doing it for everybody else, I'm going to try to do it for me. Let's see if, you know, my balls are as big as I think.
Just for the listener, I'm gonna say, so you had an ad agency, like like kind of a branding agency, and so you were doing projects for other people, and you decided, yo, I'm gonna do my own project.
Yeah, we had connected for about 8 or 9 years. We had an office at 265 Canal, and we were having tons of fun. I mean, we worked with everyone that we could ever imagine, and I was like, yo, let's reverse it and let's see if we could start doing this for ourselves. At that time, I was starting a sub company called Ad Ventures, where I was investing in companies through advertising because we had the advertising arm of the company. And I was like, yo, I'll just do it for myself. First name was Mama's Boy. And I was like, oh, this is Guido Subway. This isn't going to work. And we all started knocking around. And all my boys were like, yo, your mom took care of all of us. Every Italian spot is called, you know, Lenny's, John's, Sal's. And I was like, okay, cool. And I wanted to like feminize it. We were so rough, and we were always like these knockaround kids, where I was like, yo, let's beautify this thing that's like a man's world. That's where the grocery came in it, because otherwise it would have been Roman's Deli. Like, right? Like it would have been the same shit. Like, cool. This was like, yo, I'm going to make it Regina's Grocery and beautify this thing. And at the time, a friend of mine had Game 7. Maxwell was doing thousands of things. And within 3 weeks, Maxwell launched the public school Jordan at Regina's, and it became this like marketing engine. And
Shit, I didn't know Maxwell was in the beginning too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Maxwell put me with Dylan here to do Gazebo. So
The great
shout out
connector.
Maxwell, man.
Yeah, Maxwell. He's another one that was always like a guardian angel of mine. Like I would walk into a club, and he would be there, and it would just like be like, okay, cool. Like I have some support. I'm not alone. And it was great. And he's always looked out for me for years. And this was a big one. And when he did that, it changed the perception of what Regina's was immediately, but it was where our perception was going. We wanted to make it a brand. We never wanted to like disrespect I'm not a chef. My mom's a home chef. And all we did was make sure we sold the best product that was the most authentic to us. And I kept slamming that idea. That was my hold on any merchandise or anything like that. Cause I was like, yo, if we become a brand first and our food sucks, we're fucked, right? Like we're beat. So I was laser focused on food, did everything in my power to make sure I knew how to produce a good sandwich. And then we just reversed it. We were like, yo, we're just going to keep pushing this brand. And then all of a sudden we started opening up more of them. Marketing went a different route. It went digital. No one was putting up posters, and it was all like serendipitous. And now my life is predominantly food and beverage, but we're now taking part in more food and beverage businesses. So it's fun.
No, it's fly. 'Cause also, I never went to culinary school, and I learned through working at my dad's restaurant. And then Natasha learned working at her family's restaurant. But I feel like you just do it enough one day, and then you're like, I got it.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is. It's just practice.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. And I think all of that stuff comes with an interesting like story in the end. Cause like a lot of what we do now, even in the new store, I'm very prone to hiring someone with no experience, because you teach them how you learned and what you did, even though it's not the right way, let's say by textbook, you're getting the product that you want. So as long as you get there, everyone should be happy, right? So like we shake matcha at Mixed Ingredients. We love it. That's what we love. We like it. Is it harder? Is it? Sure. But that's what we like. So you can't tell me that you worked in this beautiful ceremony place and this is how you do it and you try to bring that practice to us, it might not work. So that's what I do love about the self-taught stuff.
Yeah, it's great hiring someone who's green. Because then it's like they're now trained in your way.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like it just all flows so nice. And I think that's the thing like with you. It's like you're trained your dad's way. You know, and then like you pass that on. Like I'm so trained my family's way. I'm like, I don't know how to do shit in any other place besides like how my family taught me.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like at Bauhaus, it's very similar to your story, and that's why I love just getting to know more about you as Fly. It's like I also, when I opened Bauhaus, I was like, I don't just want it to look like Wong's Bows, you know, like it's all woos, you know, like cool, you know, respect. Like if you named it Liu's, cool.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm also into architecture. And I was like, Bauhaus, best architecture school ever. And then we sell him bows. And I think from jump, that made people realize like, oh, he's kind of doing this different.
Yeah.
And then, but I was a home cook and all of my stuff I learned from my mother as well. So I was like, I just want to replicate this as close to how we eat at home. Mm-hmm. But the identity, the branding, the music, that's what I learned as an American kid in the city, you know? So we did it that way, it got popular. And then we would start to get resumes from people who work for like big chefs because they wanted to come see how to do Taiwanese food because no one else was doing Taiwanese food at that level that also spoke English. So they wanted to kind of like come learn. And they would be like, wait, why are you doing that? Well, you should do this and do that. And, you know, they put me onto a few different like kitchen tools that now I realize are very basic that I didn't even know existed. But ultimately, there was nothing they brought that I actually wanted in the shop. And ultimately, none of them lasted more than 90 days. Because I was like, I don't want to be French Culinary Institute. Like, this is how we're going to do this. Yeah. And we ended up going 10 years, breaking bread every year, and it worked. Anytime someone brought in a new system, those would be the only months we lost money. Because it didn't work that way. It's an immigrant shop.
Yeah, I mean, I love to hear things like that because it's also how a ton of things are created. If we all followed that same path and way, I mean, there wouldn't be an iPhone, right? Like someone had to break the mold somewhere along the line, right?
Yeah.
Like, we would still have a flip phone. So what's what? So I agree and I love hearing stuff like that. And it also makes me feel a little bit more comfortable in my seat too because I do everything like that. And sometimes I second guess you second guess yourself. You're like, well, what the hell?
Yeah, no, it's too, like when I became a chef and then when I became a director, I'm like, oh, do I need to go to like directing school? Do I need to talk to like older directors? And like, you know, I probably could have talked to a few more people before the first movie, but after the second movie, I'm like, no, I know how to do this my way. Yeah. Like I know how to do a film. I'm extremely confident. I know every in and out of it now. And I'm like, didn't need to go to school.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where it's going to get interesting for our children. Mm-hmm. I think more of that is coming forward, which I could be shooting myself in the foot right now by saying this, but I feel like self-taught opportunity is more accepted and more achievable today than it ever was. And I think maybe we have more resources today where you could reference and learn and understand. But I do think it's a very specific way of learning and I'm super into it. And I do think that that's going to become like a big way of life as things move forward, where self-taught people are doing, you know, amazing things like one after another.
Yeah, it's very hard to be it's the harder path. Mm-hmm. Like if you have the money to pay and go to school and have someone tell you how to do it, you kind of get a head start, right? Sure. But what happens is if you don't have that and you have to figure it out for yourself and make the decisions, you deal with your own personal fears. You learn problem solving. And sometimes you innovate a way that nobody else thought of before that works for you. Mm-hmm.
Or everyone, right? You don't know how your practice helps somebody else, which I think is super interesting. And I think there's people that have done it and like Bruce Lee's proven it, right? Like, look at that one.
Be water.
Yeah, like, be water.
His whole thing, you know, he looked at everything.
Water, bitch.
And look, it was like, he birthed this life that, you know, like where everyone was classically trained in, you know, Kung Fu or Western boxing. And he was like, yo, this is my world. This is what I'm going to do. And all of a sudden it worked. And everyone's like, Bruce Lee's done, finished. Like, you're not going to step in front of that one and say anything.
Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah. So it's like, there's so much that if you do break the mold, it's amazing and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
and in a way too, it's like Natasha is the maitre d' at the restaurant. But when we started doing this, I wasn't like, yo, you're the maitre d' and this is how to do it. I was like, just do what makes sense to you on the floor. And like, it just makes like you figured it out and do it in your own way now that is like excellent.
Yeah, but it would only ever work with you. Like it wouldn't, like if I was like tomorrow, like I need to go get a maitre d' job, like I would get fired in 30 seconds.
Yeah, if they wanted you to do it their way.
Yes, because it literally only works with you because there's a very specific thing happening. But I will say, just to speak to what you guys are saying, you're both very like specific, special people who have done something. Like you should give yourself credit because it's not easy to just like go do something that you haven't had any training in or any education and just be like, I'm going to do this and be super successful. Like that's just a huge thing. So I just want to like give you guys your flowers for a second. So I'm listening. I'm just like, I'm a regular bitch. Like I couldn't do it. I'm just like, I couldn't figure it out. I'd be like, fuck this. So I'm a fan now, just listening. And I want to give you guys.
No, we both have this thing too, because I notice it when we sit on the crates. When people give us compliments, me and you both have the look of like, I ain't shit, man. Yeah. Where does it come from for you?
I don't know. I might have to speak to a psychiatrist for that one. I don't know. I don't know. I always got up and did it. I didn't really have a choice. I think that's one thing that my father like always put on me. He was like, yo, it's like, you want to get, no one's going to give you anything. He's like, including me. Like, I'll give you whatever I have, but I don't have that much. And it was always just like honesty thing. Maybe it wasn't the best thing in the world and maybe it was a little harsh. But that was always what it was. And it was always this, like, there was never, I don't want to say I wasn't given anything, but I was always given a road to something. If you want something, there's the road. You go and get it. Not gonna, just because you cry, you're gonna like. It was always this weird thing, and I think that's what it comes from. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just doing I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't feel like I'm changing the world.
Yeah. No, for me, it was that no matter what I did, my parents were like, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be that good.
Sure.
So I was like, all right, cool. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because now with the kid, it's like he does anything. I'm like, you're the best.
I know.
You're the
It's so hard to like give that same hard knock, just like a little tough love. It's so hard to give it to our son.
I agree. I think, I don't know. We got to have more of a conversation about it. But I do think we're very similar in that way. And I do think for both of us, I think we see, for all of us, right? You're doing the same. You formulated how you're going to work within your world, your space, around your child together. Same way we're figuring it all out. It's just the way it is. I don't think there's like no plan B, essentially. Like,
no.
Well, that's a good way to think,
I think there's like, oh, this is it. So sure, thank you. But, and I'm also, and I think we're all like this as well, because we all, see something else. You wouldn't be able to sit in the kitchen and then get on the big, you wouldn't be able to do both if you didn't want more. So there's always something in your head that I feel like there's always something bigger. There's a bigger picture. There's something else. So it's like, sure, I did this today, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things is working on teams, right? Whether it's in a kitchen or on a movie set or whatever. It always is so surprising to me when there's a team member that's like, well, maybe we're just not going to get it today. I'm like, what? No. That's like not a possibility. That's not an option. No, we're definitely doing it. It's definitely happening.
I agree.
It's a matter of how it's happening.
I don't care how.
And who's got to die for this to happen.
I'm in. I'm on the same boat with me and you, a fire and a one oar. We're going for it, bro. We're going to figure this out.
Yeah. And she's seen my face when there's somebody on the team, like, maybe we just throw it down. I'm like, what towel?
Yeah, I agree.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I agree. That's maybe part of the response. Maybe that's part of the response.
Yeah. And I got to shout out Chris, our producer, because people ask me all the time, like, yo, who should produce? I'm like, Chris is the best because he's one of the few people that we've worked with in production that has that, like, if he dies mentality. Like, it just has to
I would say
happen.
maybe like the only, like Chris, you will literally get it done.
For sure. Very good.
Yeah, a lot of people throwing the towel these days. I'm like, where are your parents?
Yeah. I mean, throwing them the towel. Like, I don't think, wow.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I don't know if it's an America thing or what, but like, I hope it's not.
No, I mean, it's upbringing. I don't know. Who knows? Upbringing.
I don't know what it is, but I was kind of a throw in the towel person before I met you. He famously called me incompetent. Like in one of our early fights, he was like, "You're kind of incompetent." And I was like, "Damn." But he was kind of right. Like I was not carrying. Like I was just like, I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it.
Incompetent is definitely the wrong word. It was just the like, no one, I don't think there was anyone in your life that was just like, put the fear of God, like you may die.
No, never.
You know,
I was living a very soft life. Like it was like, if you don't want to do it, it's okay. We'll do it. And then I met you and I was like, damn, the plumber's here and I didn't open the door. Like he's going to, I was like, damn, shit, I'm incompetent. No, but I think you put the fear of God in me. Cause you were like, you were like literally like, he put it in me. Like, I was like, damn, like, what do you mean? And now it's crazy. Cause I'm like so hard on people. Cause I'm just like, oh no.
Well, I always knew you were going to be the mother of our child, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing is, I just knew you're the one. Like, I'd never been in love with no one like you. And I was just like, the one thing though is, I was like, I refuse to have a child who's just not a soldier. Like,
yeah,
boy, girl, whatever, like they have to be able, I think as a parent, I'm gonna just be vulnerable and revealing here, is like, I think as a parent, more than anything, like you got to love them. They got to feel the love and you got to enjoy it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it is my responsibility to prepare you for life.
I agree.
yeah,
The toughest things, I got to prepare you. And if you're not prepared, that's on me.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. I agree with that.
And that's the one thing I will say with love as well. Like my fiance, Angela, is my everything in the world. And I think we bump heads sometimes because I just want her to be the best thing in the world. And I know she can. And sometimes we bump heads for those reasons.
Yeah.
To where, it may be as simple as the plumber is at the door, but there's just like an expectancy thing. And like, I expect her to like be able to jump over the moon every single time. And it's hurtful on both sides of the fence because I know she can do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where sometimes we bump heads, and I can understand that
But
where it comes from. And then I don't know, maybe if I had a little girl, if I was a girl in my family,
Yeah.
maybe the pressure on me would have been differently, where it was not always do or die. So again, there's so many like dynamic things, but the one thing I would say is I definitely sometimes put a similar like pressure
For
on
sure.
Angela because I think she's just
But
the
I think
best.
that's such a mark of genuine love. Like you do it to me and now I do it to you back, where like, I don't think I've ever done that to anybody because I didn't care enough. I was just like, oh, whatever, do whatever you're doing. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. But like you were like, you need to be a better woman. Like you need to figure it out and get your shit together and like show up when the plumber's here and show up when it doesn't even matter. Because if you're showing up for shit that doesn't matter, you're going to always show up. Like you're saying, it's like be consistent with who you are. And then I think when you have a kid, I literally think I like pushed our son out and I was just like, yeah, I don't know her anymore. Like I'm a different person. It changed me entirely and like how I do everything. I just like can't accept.
Yeah, I think,
If it's not excellence, I'm like, we can't do it.
yeah, that's
Can't
Angela.
accept
She
it.
became a superhero.
Yeah.
What she had, she was a superhero from start to finish. Like,
Yeah.
I was lost in that whole process. I left my phone home. It was hilarious. I was in bad shape. She was like Superwoman, and I was like, okay. And once he was out, it was over. Angela was like,
Yeah.
it's like the way my socks were in my drawer were like on another
Yeah.
like
It's
she's
game
Superwoman.
time.
Yeah,
I'm the
she's
same with
amazing.
him. I'm like, oh, your shirt's on the floor. You'll never see it again. Let's keep let's keep it pushing.
I'm down.
Our whole shit is like a business now. I'm like, there's rotating strawberries. We'll never not have blueberries. Like it just something changes in you. But
It's
I do, that's
incredible.
like genuine, like true love though. When you're like, you have to be the best version of yourself for us to do this.
Yeah, because when we were dating seriously, I knew we were gonna do this. Before we ever had a kid, we had a dog, and the dog was the catalyst for bringing out Boss Man at home. because I was like, all right, this is how we're gonna do this. And we got a
Yeah.
plan and we got duties, and it ended up just falling on me. Like the
Yeah.
dog thing just ended up falling on me, and I was like, Jesus, like come on, like we can't be partners like this. And the dog made us talk about these things, but once there was the kid, everything that I was saying to her about the dog got reflected back at me, and I was like, oh shit.
We skipped the dog, but we definitely are in that same conversation.
Yeah.
Same conversation.
Just skip the dog. We also got the dog from hell. I don't even want to talk about it, but that dog was
Yeah, that
possessed.
dog was wild.
All right.
That dog was wild.
Like shitting on the walls. I was like, you know what I mean? Like I'll clean a diaper. I'm
Creative.
literally not shitting. I'm not cleaning up shit on the wall.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like
but did you have brothers?
None.
None. You single? You,
Single.
Oh,
only
okay, okay.
child.
Yeah, me
Wow.
and Angela are both only children.
Wow, I'm an only child. He has siblings.
Yeah, I have siblings, and like, thank God we have a son, because like I see my homies that have daughters, and like it's just different.
Sure.
It's different. Like my ways would not work. I would have to learn completely new ways, like completely.
Yeah, but I was raised like me and my mom. That was it. Didn't have brothers, and I never had a male figure in my house. So like having a husband and having a son is so crazy to me. But it's taught me a lot of things. And honestly, I feel like I understand men more. Like I understand you. I understand the world better because I was only ever living from like a female point of view perspective. I like didn't know what it was like to live with guys. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything. And I think it would really change you. And I think you would really, it would like soften your edges a little bit.
No, it would probably be the best.
It would
thing
bring
for
out
me.
a really like beautiful part of you.
I agree.
The same way that having a son has brought out I feel like I'm more nurturing. I'm actually more feminine after having a son.
Yeah,
I'm like less in my masculine energy all the time. I'm like very relaxed.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it pushed me to the masculine a little more. Like he's been doing this thing. I'm a pee in the corner. Like he want to pee in the corner. He starts peeing in the corner.
Yeah.
And like she's like, oh, Senna. And then she cleans it up. And I'm like, yo, you're not gonna have my wife pee in the corner. And he's only 2, but I go tell him, I'm like, yo, that's your mommy, but that's also my wife.
Yeah.
Be careful with my wife. And
I
he's
agree.
like, what?
I agree. I don't know what it is. I completely understand you.
It's so funny because I'm like, you're not peeing in the corner with my wife. And he's like, that's mommy. And I'm like, you're going to understand this.
Yeah.
But yesterday he tried to run out to go pee in the corner. And I just stood in the door. I was like, you're not peeing in the corner today. And he's like, ah. And he runs right back to her. But he didn't pee in the corner.
No, yeah, but I think that's where then your son understands respect for like women.
Yes.
It just comes from all
Yes.
these things. Yes, that's your mommy, but regardless, like you got to understand. Like there's an
Yeah.
understanding that's learned young. You know, there's these like little like things that I was like raised on that, you know, you see how they transpire over your life.
Yeah. No, you see, and already at the age of 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, I have to have a firm hand right here.
Yeah.
Because mommy, he's picking on mommy. And I'm just like, I have to have her back right here. And even if you don't like me for 12 hours, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because he's going to
Yeah.
learn something.
They get over shit so fast.
Yeah. But they're, and the mommy thing, we're beat, pal. It's mommy is everything.
Yeah.
So
it's everything.
It's the best thing in the world, and we're watching it, you know,
It's great.
simultaneously. you know?
It's great. But I feel like you're both similar in the way that it's like, when you have a son, it's like the mom and the son, but like dad has to love the mom more. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
just that dynamic really trickles down. Like for you, I think, especially in like the first year postpartum, like you were just pouring everything into me so I could pour into him. And
Yeah.
like that was the best scenario. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, if you read anything, it's like kids, the success rate of your child and how happy your child is how happy like the father made the mother. That's kind of just like how the science works. And I think it's very true.
No, it really is.
I
As
was a miserable
man-
bitch. I didn't have a dad. I'm just kidding.
No, as a man growing up, it's like everyone, your mother, your father, everyone's like, the hope is with you. You're
Yeah.
the chosen
Yeah.
one, like circle of life.
Yeah.
But
And then
it's-
like,
it's
you
everything
know,
they're seeing, you know,
it's
like
everything.
it's what we don't even think is like imprinting on them. They're watching and clocking and
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
all like going into their soul.
Yeah, before being a dad, I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, I'm not counting. I'm here to serve.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
here to serve.
It's a
Yeah. But no, this is, what do you got anything coming up next you want to talk about, or?
I think I'm going to play around in the world of another packaged beverage, which I'm really excited about. And I think I'm just developing a team. I think Connected was always a team, but Connected was like the Monstars, if you would. It was the best of what I could put together, and it was an amazing team. And we did things in a very, very specific way, and I will never change that. I think now, being a little bit older, I wanna assemble teams, and I was always better behind the person, I think. If that makes any sense.
Wait. You talking about Connected, the barbershop?
No, so the marketing agency is called Connected.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry.
No, because there was also that barbershop called Connected.
Well, I think it's well Connected.
Yeah, well Connected.
Willis and the boys are over there.
Yeah.
Great. So I think that's what I'm trying to do now. I think we're working on this company to stand behind companies, if you would. And I think that's where I'm going to have the most fun. Like, Mixed Ingredients is a product of mine, but it's also a product that's 100% removed from me. So that was like my first practice. Where Regina's, if I'm not there, kids are like, Roman's not there, fuck that place. Like, it was an interesting thing to look at, and it's interesting, like, place to be in this world. I think branding and marketing and how things visually look and how people experience are all what I love doing. But what I'm also training myself to do is understand a consumer rather than pretend to understand a consumer in a different way. And then again, it's standing behind some of these like curtains and stuff like that. And I think the support and the like devil's advocate, I think I'm like an amazing devil's advocate to anyone in a business. And I think that's where I'm playing, and I'm trying to learn and pivot my position. Even with the Reginas. The Reginas is a living brand, but I think I'm stepping away from the brand and looking at the brand in a different way. A friend of mine years ago told me, I'm sure he didn't invent this, but there's a difference between working on your brand and for your brand. You work on the brand, it's you see things that no one sees. You see the crumb that hits the floor. Working for the brand, you're making sandwiches. You never see, it's the tinfoil in the conversation we had. I'm not ordering, so now I'm going to start ordering sandwiches to my house 3 times, a month. And I'm going to see where, hey, I got 17 napkins. I got a hot Coke. I got this. Now you start working on things in a different light. And I think that's where my brain is turning and my OCD is looking at that. And that's what I'm trying to develop.
No, that's the unlock. I used to do that. I'd go to a friend's house and order from Bauhaus, and the delivery guy show up, and I'm like, guess what, motherfucker?
Yeah.
It's
No,
me. And they're like, shit. I was crazy.
Yeah, that's the best.
I was crazy. Yeah.
That's the best.
I would even do the deliveries sometimes to see what the customers were thinking.
Sure.
And like, I one time did a delivery and it was to David Chang.
Oh,
It's hilarious. And like, but I was always spot checking and testing the dudes. And not because I didn't trust them, but I was just like, yo, you got to stress test things.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
surprise.
Yeah, I think it's the best. I think like shock therapy sometimes works and whatever it may have you. But yeah, I think that's where we're at now and just trying to have the most.
You guys make an
fun we
incredible
can.
sandwich. I gotta
Yeah.
say,
Thank you.
it's
Thank you.
incredible.
Thank you.
I really, really love the chicken cutlet.
Thank you.
The spicy tuna fire, the spicy Italian. They're all
Thank you.
just like, it's done really well and exactly what you expect. And it's, not that many people make heroes that well anymore. I would say it's you. I would
Yeah.
say it's City Sub. And like Ali Doro does something different. It's
Yeah.
like they're different, but they make a great sandwich. But
Yeah.
I think it's like those are the 3 sandwiches I think of.
Thank you. I mean, Ali Doro was definitely part of the DNA of Regina's. I mean, even the attitude, like when my mom was behind the register, you couldn't get mayo on a sandwich if you brought your own. Like it was kind of funny. But I think City Subs I've heard about forever. I'm not a big LA dude, so
Oh no, they're in Brooklyn. They're in Brooklyn.
There's
But
something
no,
else
it's-
in LA that everyone keeps telling me.
Yeah, that's the
it's Bay City
Bay
Subs.
Cities.
Bay
Yeah,
Cities,
Yeah, Bay
yeah.
City
yeah.
Subs.
Yeah.
So that's why that was my reference there. But yeah,
Bay Cities Bay Cities is basically what you have to eat in LA when you want like an East Coast Italian sandwich.
It's the one answer to it. And they do
Yeah.
like the spicy Italian. They call it like the godmother.
yeah.
And it doesn't hit.
It doesn't hit, man. The bread different. It's like
You're lying to yourself when you're there because it's all you can get. And you're like, yeah, no, I'm having a great time. I'm eating like this sub on the beach and it's sandy and I'm having fun.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It made me upset because it just made me upset I wasn't in New York.
Got it.
Pretty
You know.
much.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm in LA, you eat a hamburger. You know, they make a great hamburger out
A
there.
taco.
Tacos.
Yeah,
Keep it Mexican.
tacos. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Tacos-
keep it Mexican.
Yeah, I think all of that stuff is pretty reflective of just like what the neighborhood, like,
Yeah.
I don't know how big the Italian community in LA is the way it is in New York. It's like very, very deep root. Like Bensonhurst is like Little Italy, like real Little Italy, you know? And
Yeah.
then Little Italy at one point was divided by, you know, it's like Mott Street was Naples, Elizabeth Street was Calabria. Like they were racist against each other and they were all from Italy. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like the formulating of what it is also helps what comes out of the city.
Yeah,
Totally.
there's not. LA is missing the Italian thing. Like, I love being in a city with a strong Italian presence. Like, I kind of need that in a city. Boston got it. New York
Boston
got it.
had it.
Yeah.
Miami got it. You know, and then LA doesn't. LA got Dantana's and it got Uncle Paulie's and it got like Giorgio Baldi's, but there's not like that community. You go to a neighborhood and it's like everybody's Italian.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There isn't like the Chinese too. It's like you got to go all the way to the SGV. Like Chinatown's not Chinatown out there. So I think that's what that city would be significantly cooler if there was those pockets like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that's my thing about LA and the subs. And thank you. We're trying. We're going to keep trying. I think also it's just dying arts of certain things. You know, a slicer is a brutal machine. People don't love it. It's hard to get people to operate it. So it's just like one of those dying things. And it was kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a knucklehead, and I was like, these places are all closing. I'm going to open one. I don't know if it was the best idea, but we're
No,
standing
it's great,
behind
bro.
it.
It is, yeah.
You needed it. It's like in her culture, like the North Shore beefs, they're like all closing. The like roast beef shops.
Well, it's just what like the Greek immigrants came in and just opened roast beef shops. So it's the same. Like none of the kids want to take them over. They don't
Yeah.
want to do the shit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like they're closing or they're selling to like, you know, the new wave of whatever immigrants are coming in and they're like changing it and tweaking it. So it's like, yeah, those spots don't exist anymore. But there's like now this huge community of like local, just like very niche local cuisine. And everyone's like, fuck.
That's crazy.
You know?
I didn't Greek, like growing up in New York was always like diner,
Yeah.
like culture. So to
Yeah.
hear, I'm like infatuated with the beef
Yeah.
thing. Don't know much about it. I've never honestly had one. I've never been to Chicago. I speak to JP Graziano. He's like
Okay.
the Regina's or the Palos really of like Chicago in my eyes. So we speak and we go back and forth. But yeah, it's super interesting to understand and learn about that. But it
Yeah.
is all of these things where if it's a heavy lift, it's a dying business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people, young kids now, they all want to chef driven this. This is my sandwich. I created a new sandwich. I'm like, cool. But like, yo, I like to keep the old format alive.
Yeah.
I really, that's why
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just doing bows.
Yeah,
You know,
sick.
I'm like, I'm always going to have the bow on the menu that's the old way. You know, like I insisted on it. I would love to bring Bauhaus back at some point because it's like the hero shop. Like the sandwich, there's not many places to go get a good hero anymore. Like you count them on your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go to Bensonhurst, they're still around. But it's weird. Bensonhurst is their mind. It's like the city is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's 13th Avenue, 18th Avenue, 25th Avenue. If you live on 20th Avenue, you're not going to 18th Avenue. It's like mind-boggling.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and even the ones that like it used to be in every New York neighborhood, there was a couple really good bodega delis. Right?
Absolutely.
Even in Fort Greene, like we would just
Hell
go
yeah.
to Farmer in the Deli.
Hell yeah.
And now there's so few that people are like lining up at Farmer in the Deli. I'm like, Farmer in the Deli, we used to go get the can of tuna from the shelf and bring it up to him and be like, yo, 3 cans. Put 3 cans in there. And I'm like, people are lining up to do that? Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
This is a dying art. Honestly, making a sandwich, the classic East Coast hero, is a dying art.
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna keep it alive for as long as we keep people behind the slicer. We're gonna have fun. The brand's got legs to do some other stuff. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Thank
what
you
the
for
hell
coming on the
else-
show,
thank
bro.
Thank
you.
you.
It's
Thank
been
you. Thank
fun.
you for having me.